Alright boys, what's happening? Welcome back to another episode of my team here on the channel on F1 2021. Now starting off this episode, make sure you drop a like on this video because it is my birthday today. So yeah, go ahead and like the video, subscribe if you are new. Well, you shouldn't be new, you should already be subscribed with notifications on. But yeah, anyway, drop a like on the video, you know the vibes. Let's get into the video. We've got to change up our engine here, as you can see on the screen right now. The engine's dead. We mentioned it last episode, the engine is dead. We're going to have to take a grid penalty for changing that CE component of the engine getting into the Hungarian Grand Prix because it is just battered, boys. We need to replace that component, but it will mean a 10-place grid penalty, I do believe it is, for changing your engine component. There seems to be a glitch this year on this F1 game where your engine just wears out so fast, and it is like ridiculous the rate of wear that the engine goes through. On the screen you can see our setup for Hungary. People call the Hungaroring Monaco without walls. It is a very narrow track, I'd say. It's quite difficult to overtake, especially with the length of the F1 cars these days. That's why it is so difficult to overtake in F1. The cars are just so long, and it's like people call it Monaco without walls, and it really does feel like that when you're trying to overtake and stuff like that. Anyway, let's get into qualifying. You can see straight away though, as we come out, we get that 10-place grid penalty for changing the engine. That is confirmed. So can we set a good qualifying time and get through to Q3? So brake at 75 meters for the turn 1 there. Make sure you hit the DRS. It's quite a difficult DRS zone to hit that because you're upshifting at the same time. Getting into here, make sure you dip your right hand tyre onto the curb. You get a nice little entry there into that corner. You can go flat out for this right hander right here as we head uphill towards this difficult section here. Drop it to 6th, sorry, and get straight back on the throttle. We go wide and take a late apex to that corner there. If you touch that curb on the inside of that corner, boys, you are dead. Like, you're just dead. Chicane there, very difficult. The chicane, you just got to go off the field. Try and take as much of the curb as you can without unsettling the car. A bit dodgy coming through there. You see we have to lift off the throttle. Car was a bit unsteady. Couldn't really find the balance going through this lap here. Thought it was quite a nice lap though, took that corner quite nicely here. Braking as the curb starts for this turn, down to 3rd gear, short shifts of 4th on the exit. You should know about that by now. And then we get into this left-hander, a lot of sweeping like U-turn type corners, another one here. Get into the right-hander, try and get on the throttle as early as possible. We could get on quite late there, lose a little bit of time as we come out, but that is going to be our time for Q1. Where does that put us? And that does put us, let's see boys, it puts us in P15. So we do get through to Q2, but boys, we do have a 10-place grid penalty and our best time was like P15. So are we going to make it through to Q3 and then try and like make up 10 places somehow? No. I sit out qualifying too. I actually don't set a time. Just didn't put any wear on the engine because I just thought there's no point. We're going to take a 10-place grid penalty anyway. So yeah, that's our qualifying. Now let's get to the race.
It's race day in Budapest as we get ready for another round of the Formula One World Championship. We don't expect too many retirements at this track. There are plenty of current and former drivers with flawless finish rates here. In particular, Ralf Schumacher. He made it across the line in all 10 of his Hungarian Grand Prix starts. We're northeast of Budapest for the race today at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring circuit. 14 corners here, 8 to the right and 6 to the left, on a track where downforce is king and passing is notoriously difficult. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Perez, Lando Norris and Leclerc, Vettel, Stroll, Tsunoda and Carlos Sainz. Ricciardo, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Gasly, Fernando Alonso and Ocon, Mick Mazepin, Russell, Latifi, and the owner driver. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, boys, you see there, we're starting from P22. How many places can we make up from the back of the grid? Can we do the last to first challenge in Hungary? Who knows? We're going to go with the one-stop strategy, I do believe, with the medium into hards. Probably should have gone with the 2 in hindsight, but anyway, let's get into the Grand Prix as we wait for the light to count down. It is lights out and away we go in Hungary. Let's see, we are at the very back of the grid. Do we get off to a good start? We actually get a really slow start there. You can see we are left in the dust there of the Williams car, but we are going to send it into turn 1 as always. And we almost make contact there with Nicholas Latifi. We do have to slam on the brakes and we try and go around the outside into turn 1. Dan Ticktum there, I think he's lost a few places as well. Dan Ticktum in P20 just in front of Latifi. Now Latifi, the worst driver on the grid. We are obviously going to try and beat this guy as quickly as possible and get past him, dispose of him as quickly as possible as we activate our ERS there. And if we committed to that there, boys, he would have completely took us out. The AI, like, they don't avoid collisions, so we have to pull out there. But, you know, I feel like my racecraft has really improved this year on this game. I'm making a lot better decisions, avoiding collisions and stuff like that. Coming towards the end of lap 1, it's a very difficult track to overtake on, like I mentioned. The whole sector 2 is so hard to try and overtake on. So can we get the cut back here on the final corner from Nicholas Latifi? We're going to get his slipstream and the ERS as we head towards turn 1. And there's a yellow flag up ahead, but we do make the pass on Nicholas Latifi before the yellow flag. Obviously no overtaking in yellow flag zones, and Max Verstappen is out of the session on lap 2.
There's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris.
Now the virtual safety car got deployed there, as you can see. Let's see what happens on Max. And it looks like he just pulls over to the side of the road, boys. I don't know what happened there. We do actually check the race incidents on the race director, and it said that Sergio Perez made contact with someone. Max's engine goes there, as you can see. Now this is on board with Perez as we go through, and Perez has been overtook there by Norris and Vettel and now Charles Leclerc. I don't know what happened to Perez there, but his gearbox seemed to be going funny. He's in turn gear 1 there, and we get a 5-second penalty, boys, for a severe collision with Nicholas Latifi. Now let's see a replay on board with Latifi. This is the most outrageous glitch I've ever seen. Look at this. We got a 5-second penalty for that, boys. Like, are you actually kidding me? We go through turn 1, overtake him on the straight easily. We go a little bit wide, I guess, but boys, literally, like, we're on the racing line. What am I supposed to do there? I didn't even know Latifi was there. I actually didn't know. He made contact with us, and the full safety car comes out, because I do believe Latifi lost his wing when he spun there. He spun and hit the wall, lost his wing. And we get a 5-second penalty, boys, on lap 2 of the race. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. We were on some good momentum there. I felt like I had a good lap 1. And then obviously we beat Latifi on lap 1. And we were just going to keep climbing. And we see Fernando Alonso parked on the side of the road there. And Alonso is out of the session behind the safety car. This is on board with his teammate, Esteban Ocon. You can see there just the smoke coming off the back of Alonso's car. So we've got 2 retirements on lap 2 of the race, boys. This is crazy so far. And Nicholas
Some
Latifi,
information on Ocon. They seem to have an issue.
Latifi is still behind us, but yeah, anyway, you just heard there from Jeff that now Esteban Ocon has an issue. Obviously, Alonso's Alpine teammate has an issue, and a few people, I believe, in front of us pit on that first lap of the safety car. This is the restart for the safety car. You see, we're in P15. We've got Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, and I think it's Perez and Norris behind us also. But heading down into turn 1, we've got Dan Ticktum in front of us. You just know how I feel about Dan Ticktum, the absolute unity. If you've seen the size of his head, next time you see the grid at the start of the video, boys, at the start of the race, look at the size of this guy's head. Like, it's absolutely mad that he can even fit a helmet on that thing to get into an F1 car. But anyway, we do have Lewis Hamilton behind us now. A very scary man to have behind us. As we can see, he tries to send one up there, and I don't know what he's thinking, boys. This is such a fast turn, and Hamilton is trying to send one up the inside. We go wide on this corner here, try and avoid the collision. Look at this guy. He pushes us off the track there. Hamilton pushes us off the track, and Charles Leclerc sends one down the inside into the chicane. And then there's going to be a yellow flag behind us. We make contact with Charles Leclerc into the chicane. I don't know what Leclerc was thinking, trying to send one up the inside into a chicane like that. Absolutely ridiculous. We get pushed wide there from Lewis Hamilton, and into the chicane we go. Leclerc sends one up the inside, and he just spins, boys. As you can see, we make contact with Leclerc. I don't know why he ever thought he could make that move into the chicane, boys. Very silly move from Leclerc, if you ask me. And then, obviously, Norris gets past there. But look at this. Leclerc just reverses in front of Perez. And Latifi, I think that might be. And then Leclerc pulls over to the side of the road. It's mad. It's absolutely mad first few laps of the race. And Dan Tickton locks up there, boys. And you know when we see somebody lock up in front of us, you know it's like a shark smelling blood. You know we're going to come for this guy and his absolute unit of a head. Obviously, he's locked that rear right there. So... he's going to have a flat spot on that tyre, and we are just faster now through those last few corners. We're going to hit our ERS, get his slipstream there. He doesn't really want to let us pass, doesn't really defend too hard as well either, to be fair, but DRS is now enabled after the safety car's gone in, and Hamilton there nearly making contact with Nikita Mazepin, very reminiscent of Hungary this year when Hamilton had to overtake all these stinkers at the back of the grid, getting very aggressive on his overtakes, and we nearly, boys, crash it into the back of Mazepin right there. The AI brakes so early, and yeah, we nearly go into the back of Mazepin, take nice evading action, and this part of the circuit is so hard to overtake. You can see there we do have to back out before we make any contact with Mazepin again, but we were so much faster than him, we should have overtook him there, but it is so hard to do. But we're going to send one up the inside now into this turn, and he backs out of that and gives us the room to take it out, and to take that position from him. Next up in front is George Russell. Can we keep the momentum going on this last to first challenge around Hungary? Lewis Hamilton now is already 2.7 seconds ahead of George Russell in front of us. This guy is absolutely flying since he did pit, and I do believe we overtake a lot of people in the pits now. We're up into P10, up into the points. Obviously this is not a net position because we haven't pit ourselves yet, but into turn 1 with George Russell, wheel to wheel racing with George Russell here through turn 1. But I do believe he stays in front there through turn 1, and we run a bit wide here, boys. We go a bit wide, which allows Daniel Ricciardo to just overtake us there, but we're going to send one up the inside and take our position back, or are we? Daniel Ricciardo gets a nice exit there. He goes a bit wide, I think, over the curb, and we're wheel to wheel again through the second to last corner here. George Russell, we're trying to keep within DRS range of Russell, and we can just see Ricciardo's front wing on our left sticking out there, but through the last turn we are going to keep that position ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. Now, I do not know, boys, if we could have saved our 5-second penalty behind the safety car. That was one thing I was thinking of. As soon as I saw the safety car come out, I was thinking of switching to a 2-stop strategy, and taking and like doing our penalty behind the safety car. But I didn't want to pick just in case you can't, because I'm not too sure how it works. But heading into turn 1 now, on lap 10, we get DRS and ERS activated on George Russell, and we go ahead and make the move, make the pass. But George is coming back. George is coming back. He doesn't want to concede that position to us there, but coming through this turn now, lovely camera angle, you can see we are in front, and Daniel Ricciardo now is looking to overtake George Russell as well, and he gets the move done there. Now, lap 11, I'm not too sure what lap we are going to pit on. I think it's lap 16 maybe, but you see nice defending there against Daniel Ricciardo. I do take myself as a quite good defensive driver on this game, you know. I stick to the rules as well. I don't move on the braking like some people do, but yeah. Anyway, Daniel Ricciardo, obviously a faster car behind us, better driver, or well, arguably better driver. Well, I say that as I go wide, and Daniel Ricciardo makes the move. Perfect timing. The case of the commentator on myself. Now there's a yellow flag ahead of us. Is this going to be another retirement? We've already seen 2 or 3 already, and it's Kimi Räikkönen at the side of the track, and he tries to come back on the track, boys, and we almost make contact there with Kimi Räikkönen. I don't know what he was thinking. Let's see the onboard now, and he just drops the car, very similar to Mazepin in last episode in Silverstone. If you haven't seen that episode, go and check it out. Mazepin did something very similar, but Kimi Räikkönen, a very experienced driver, the most experienced driver I do believe on the grid this year. Very weird mistake for a driver of Kimi's caliber to make. You know, I'd expect that from a Schumacher, a Mick Schumacher, a Mazepin, a Tsunoda, maybe one of the rookies, but Kimi Räikkönen to do something like that, it's crazy. Anyway, lap 13 now, we have Sergio Perez in front of us. Down, he goes obviously up the inside, riding the curb. The AI are just absolute lunatics, boys, but I think, are we going to make a pass here? We're in a sandwich now of Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas, 2 very fast cars in front and behind us. We go a bit wide on that turn there, opens the door for Bottas, who is on the hard tyres, and we pull out there to avoid a collision. But yeah, so Bottas makes the pass on us there, and so does Sergio Perez. And now Kimi Räikkönen tries to send one up the inside, boys, pushes us wide off the track there. He tries to go late on the brakes, but you can't beat me for going late on the brakes, boys. You can't get much later than me on the brakes. I'm telling you that right now. So Raikkonen, I think he actually picked up wing damage making that move on us there as we head towards the chicane now, and Charles Leclerc again sends one up the inside, boys, and pushes us wide over the chicane. We have to bump over the curbs. Hopefully we don't take any damage to the under tray of the car there, but Charles Leclerc, boys, he's an absolute loon, like I'm saying. And we come round to the chicane again. Is he going to try the same move, or I think this might be the actual same move that we just seen, and he bumps us there, boys, and I think, yeah, we took wing damage from that incident right there. You'll see later in the race we do actually have wing damage. I set it to no in the pit lane right here to not repair wing damage, but I believe we picked some up there with Leclerc, which is very unfortunate. Just an absolute crazy, man. Like, why would you ever try and send up the inside of the chicane there? You can't go too wide through that chicane. Like, it's ridiculous. So it's not like I should give him space going into the chicane there, and I shouldn't give him space anyway. You know me, I'm an elbows out driver. Like, if I could actually have my elbows outside the cockpit and elbow other drivers in the head, I'd do it, do you know what I mean? But like, the halo restricts the movement a bit, doing moves like that, and it's probably illegal anyway to elbow other drivers. But boys, look at this, lap 21, we come into the pits again. It was supposed to be a one-stop strategy, but Nicholas Latifi was catching us by about a second a lap, and Kimi Raikkonen was getting faster than us in front of us by about a second a lap. So I made the executive decision here to pit and fix that front wing, boys, because the amount of laps that we had left, Latifi would have caught us and overtook us, and I just wasn't having it, boys. I knew if I came in, swapped the wing, changed tyres onto fresh mediums, it would damage like our race in terms of like, well, it wouldn't even damage our race actually, because we would have just like lost positions anyway, and there was only one position to lose. We were in P19. The only position to lose was to Latifi, which is a stinker if you get overtook by Latifi. But anyway, we get lapped there by the two Mercedes, and they're racing wheel to wheel. A great battle between Lewis and Bottas there. I wonder who is going to take the W between those two guys. But boys, you can see here, lap 27, a few laps later, we get that wing change, the fresh tyres. Latifi does overtake us in the pits, but with a fresh wing and fresh tyres, boys, we are going to be a lot faster than Nicholas Latifi, and our executive decision was clearly the right one as we make the move on Latifi there. Just great decision from us, I guess, because if we did stay out on the one stop, boys, we would have been overtook by Latifi. So the last of first challenge in Hungary ends with us being in P19. You know, a valiant effort from the lads. And if Leclerc didn't knock our front wing off, boys, who knows where we could have been, because that saved us, well, we've had to pit like more than we should have. That probably cost us like, and the 5-second penalty as well, boys. We've been cost there about 40 seconds in the race, which is massive, obviously, in racing. 40 seconds is a lot. So yeah, full blame to Charles Leclerc for being an absolute lunatic. Lewis Hamilton picking up the dub there, and I saw a Ferrari car in P3 right there, boys. And if that's Leclerc, I'm going to fume, because if he's picked up P3 after what happened with him and us twice in that chicane, pushing us wide over the curb, taking front wing damage, but then he did spin as well on lap 1. Let's see who is it going to be. Or is it going to be Carlos Sainz? It is going to be Carlos Sainz on the podium. What a race from the lad. I think he was on a one-stop strategy from like P12 on the grid or something like that. Pierre Gasly got driver of the day, by the way. You know how much we love driver of the day on this series. Pierre Gasly, maybe a future teammate of us at Sasuke Racing, getting driver of the day. You know, we only sign drivers of the days. I mean, saying that, Dan Tixon got it in Silverstone, and he's going to be gone soon. So yeah, anyway, shout out Carlos Sainz, Valtteri Bottas, the absolute unit, getting on the podium as well. Look at that ridiculous fastest lap from Lewis, a 1:17.1. The next fastest lap was a 1:17.6. I don't know how he's gone that fast, but that's ridiculous from Lewis there. Anyway, Dan Tixon, our teammate, finishing P15. I think that's his best finish for us outside of that race in Spain when he came P8 because of the safety car and stuff. I think P15 is his highest like he's ever got for us, and obviously we want to be fighting for points. P15 is not good enough, he says, as he finishes in P19, but at least I have some points. Dan Tixon, where's your points? We have 43 points to team, and they all came from me. Actually they didn't, because he finished P8 in Spain, but other than that, like, they all came from me, lad. What's P8, lad? Like, about 3 points. About 4 points, lad. You need to pull your weight. Look at the size of his head, boys, on the right-hand side. He looks pale. He looks like a ghost. But that's the biggest head ghost I've ever seen in my entire life. Look at him. And he's standing in that purple uniform looking like Barney the dinosaur. Big head ass. Look at this guy. We take 50k damage deductions there, by the way, boys. I don't know if you've seen that. We got 50k for doing the race and lost 50k for damage deductions. And I'm like, surely it doesn't cost 50k for the front wing. But yeah, anyway. we go ahead and pick up this facility upgrade here for the durability thing, which will increase our resource point generation on the weekly resource points that we do get. I got the one in the durability department, boys, because it was 1.5 mil, and the same upgrade in all the other facilities is 1.6. So we saved ourselves 100k there, which is absolutely massive. Of course, when the upgrades cost 6 mil, saving 100k is massive. Anyway, boys, next race we do have Belgium. We have a press interview to do, and then the season break, which you'll see in the next episode. If you did enjoy this one, like, comment, share, and subscribe. You know the vibes. And say happy birthday to me in the comments. But anyway, that is going to be it. I will catch us next time. Take it easy.